Hi, Ate
Hi!
Ye. Hello.
Hi everyone! Hi
Ayan.
Slumbies!
Talaga,
Yes.
true. Ramdam na ramdam ko na parang fresh ka tonight, ate.
Talaga ba? Ikaw din. For sure yung guest din
Taray, talaga
natin.
naman. Kasi alam mo
Yes.
kung bakit tayo fresh?
Kasi fresh yung...
yung guest natin or yung true, kasi fresh yung guest natin. Usually kasi
nakakahiya naman.
Yeah. So, ayan. Tonight, for our tonight's topic, Ate,
wait lang. Welcome to the podcast. Yes. Welcome to the podcast. You're listening to Bedtime Kwentuhan podcast. Yes. Yes, Jen. Go.
So, ayan. Ate, kaya nga, yung sinasabi ko, yung topic natin for tonight is talaga namang fresh na fresh.
Yes.
At ipakilala mo siya, Ate, yan.
Yes, but before that, kasi ang topic natin tonight, ang inspiration or motivation natin para sa topic natin tonight is yung generation gap. Ano siya, kumbaga, matagal na natin siyang na-experience, and each generation, para tayong merong silent war. Actually, hindi nga silent eh. Kumbaga parang meron tayong generation war na parang, mas okay nung panahon namin, mas maganda yung generation namin kasi itong mga ginagawa natin, ganito, ganyan. So the purpose of this episode is to bridge the gap, and also para din mapakinggan natin yung younger generation, 'di ba? Para mas maintindihan natin since nanggaling nga sila sa younger generation. Yes. So wala nang patumpik-tumpik, wag na natin siyang pag-antayin. I'm so excited na din talaga, Jen.
Ayan.
So our guest for tonight, she's a podcaster as well. And she's the host of Asking for a Friend na podcast. So let's welcome Hannah T.
Ayan, si Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Welcome to the show.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay lang yan. Ganun talaga.
Totoo.
Pag-Zoom.
Meron tayong mga technical problems minsan.
Yes.
So, before we start, Hannah, we'd like to thank you for saying yes to us. Sobrang na-appreciate talaga namin.
Thank you din po for having me.
Ayan.
You're
Alam mo ba,
welcome.
Hannah, pinag-uusapan namin yung pag-pronounce ng surname mo.
Yes.
Can you correct us? Or T ba? Or T or Ty?
Yeah,
T.
Hannah.
Okay. Parang C. Okay.
Good.
Ayan. Fresh na fresh si Hannah today.
Ay, kayo
today
rin
ba?
po.
Forever yan.
Ay, thank you. Yes. Ano yan? Oo. Dahil choice naman natin, di ba, to stay fresh and stay young. Yes.
Wow. Parang kayo pong dalawa.
Thank you. Thank you. Ayun.
Okay.
So, Hannah, let's start with something na very close to your heart. So, alam naman nating lahat, and nabanggit na rin natin sa audience na you come from the new generation, Gen Z, 'di ba? So, ewan ko, yun na ba ang latest na generation or meron nang mas late? Wala pa, no?
Youngest po kami so far.
Yan pa lang, Tia. Excited, mapalitan agad.
Malay mo yung mga babies ngayon, di ba? Anyway, so Hannah, let's start with women empowerment. Coming from the youngest generation, how empowered are female Gen Zs? Yes.
From female Gen Zs. Actually, I think before I answer, can I just tell the audience na before we recorded this episode, the three of us actually discussed na usually the younger generation nagsasuffer sa pressure from older generations. I mean, napag-usapan namin din ni Ate Jen and Ate.
Yes.
And I think dumaan din sila doon na kinukumpara yung ng mga matatanda yung henerasyon nila sa mga mas bata. And now, considering na we are Gen Z, we have more access to facts. We can access almost everything in just one click. And exposed kami sa realidad ng buhay at a very young age. And para sa mga kababaihan na Gen Z, naging way yon para sa amin to create safe spaces to actually discuss hard topics na hindi usually pinag-uusapan ng mas matatandang generation. They're so accepting of different groups, and I think that has a significant impact not only to older generations or sa mga kapwa naming Gen Z, but to the society as a whole. Kasi honestly, it's very difficult to ignore what's happening in the world, knowing na you can read a lot of information online.
Yes.
And we have several opinions and several options on what to do with what we know. And I think isa sa options na ginagawa ng mga female Gen Z ay gusto ng isang babaeng Gen Z na i-lift up yung isa pang babae. Na you see women make other women up their game like kids. So I think ganun ka-empowered yung isang female Gen Z. I mean, I know sa ibang generations din or like sa older ones, katulad niyo po, I think ganun din naman siya. It's just that syempre mas ang spotlight kasi ngayon nasa Gen Z kasi kami yung youngest. So ayun.
Okay. Yeah.
Ang ganda nung
naman ng
answer niya.
sagutan
Pang
ni
miss
Hana.
you.
Ayan.
I
Well,
think, ma-add ko lang doon, Hana. I think one advantage then is because you can easily reach out to each other dahil nga sa social media.
Yeah.
So now,
Oo.
mas kayo,
maraming
kumbaga,
access.
oo, na even magkakahiwalay, iba't ibang bansa kayo nang galing, pwede kayong get together para sa isang motivation. Yes, ang ganda.
Well, actually, yung pagkakaroon ng magandang access or talagang yung easy access is meron talagang disadvantages and advantages. Pero yung Gen Zs ngayon, talagang nakikita ko hindi masobra. Well, hindi natin pwedeng lahatin, pero nakikita ko na responsible naman sila sa paggamit ng access na yun. Like for example, katulad ngayon, meron ng mga fact checker, 'di ba? Parang sila na mismo, tong mga youth or mga Gen Zs na mismo yung gumagawa ng paraan para matulungan yung isa't isa. Not only for females, pero for the whole youth, 'di ba? So, ayan. Anyway, so doon naman tayo sa breaking the taboos. So how open-minded are genzers ba? Talking about sex, or are Gen Z is ready for sex education? Or talagang part na ba talaga yan ng sa school? Or talaga ba
Yes,
namulat
oo
na
nga.
kayo? Or,
Sa school. Let's take it first, Hana. Paano na yung sex education sa school nowadays? Because I think, I'm not sure, pero I believe na binago or in-improve nila yon for K to 12, yung approach.
Not sure.
Not sure how, to what
Naabot mo ba yung
extent.
K to 12, Hana?
Hindi po eh.
Okay.
Last
Okay.
ka na. Last na ba yung batch
Ikaw
mo,
yung
or-
last batch.
Parang isa po kami sa mga huling batch. Parang sinwerte, ganyan.
Okay.
Swerte.
Oo.
Di ba haba? Hello.
Humaba eh.
Hassle po ng K to 12, promise. Like, syempre madadagdagan ka ng 2 years. Kaya dapat
True.
college ka na, ganyan. Pero like, dun sa school, siguro, balikan ko lang yung high school life ko saglit. Meron naman po kaming health class na we talk about STDs, STIs, parehas lang yan, sorry. HIV, AIDS, ganyan. Tapos, how do we practice safe sex? Pero at that time po kasi, since we were that young, parang joke time lang yun sa amin.
Ano pa
I know,
ba? Wait,
Ganun
tingin ko
pa
Hana,
rin.
ganun pa rin ba? Pag may nag-explain ng like sex education, parang
ganun.
ganun pa rin ba kayo?
Kaya, siguro po kasi, at that time, kasi Catholic school yung school namin. So, syempre may times na parang awkward nung ganong conversations. Like, kasi at that time, I think we were still not that ready for sensitive topics eh. Pero, when I got into college, luckily, meron kaming parang mga subjects na talagang pinagdadala po kami ng talong, tas condom. And
That's
then,
good.
tinuturuan kami paano gumamit ng condom, ganyan. And I think it's cool, honestly,
Yeah.
kasi
Yes, oo.
not every university or college ino-offer yung ganong course.
True.
So I personally think it's about time to talk about sex in school kasi if hindi kasi pinag-uusapan yun, ang tendency ng mga kabataan, pumupunta sila sa mga unsafe space. Like,
Yes.
randomly nag-experiment sila. Tapos hindi nila alam malaki yung effect nun sa body nila or malaki yung consequence if hindi nila alam what they're going through sexually. So, I think it's very important na sa school pa lang pinapractice na siya. So, ayun. Pero, talk about sex, I mean, as a Gen Z.
How about with your parents, with your friends, like your daily lives?
Daily life, I mean, ako po kasi, personally, I'm very open to a lot of things. Like, I can talk about anything when I'm with a friend or with a loved one. So, sa family namin, ako po talaga yung bad girl or kasi middle child po ako. So, may pagka black sheep
I
ako
feel
na
you,
time.
girl.
Ganun yung impression, di ba? Pag middle child ka.
Disguise, charot. Bunso kasi ako. Charot.
Dalawa sila. So, pwede na. Counted na.
Ayun. Usually before kasi parang sa amin magkakapatid, ako yung mas open to conversations katulad ng sex. So I think nagsimula talaga siya sa akin na parang eto na I'm opening up to my parents about sex or about uncomfortable things in general. So I think naging advantage yun for me growing up kasi doon ko na practice paano makipag-communicate sa mga tao kasi it started at home. Parang
Especially
Yes,
sa parents.
true.
Sorry Hana, sorry, sobrang curious ako. Paano mo siya inopen sa parents mo? Like, paano mo na-start yung conversation? Do you remember?
Sobrang brave no?
Para sa amin, baka masampal kami.
Sumundugo ang... Oo.
I think ano po kasi, parang nag-start siya sa small moments with my parents na honestly, nagtataka sila sa sexuality ko. Like, ano ba ako? Bi ba ako? Straight ba ako? Ganyan. And then, at that time, gusto ko lang naman mag-dress up ng boyish. Although straight naman ako. Like,
yes.
So, doon ako na nag-start mag-open up sa parents ko na, gusto ko lang magsuot ng oversized shirt. Why not? Diba? Parang ganon. Doon siya nagsimula sa simple conversations na ganon. Up until pagka kunyari meron silang inaasar sa bahay, di ba usually pag may dinner po or lunch, you tend to talk about other people over dinner, ganyan. So, minsan pag nag-open up sila about gays or lesbians and they tell me they're uncomfortable about it, I usually just tell them na they're not doing anything bad to you. So, I think hindi dapat sila i-judge in the first place. And since then, naintindihan na ng parents ko na okay, si Hana ganyan talaga siya. Ganun. Up until now na parang lumaki na yung bunsong kapatid ko. So, natutunan na rin nila to talk to him na okay, this is how I'm going to approach my child. If in case man he opens up about sex or sexuality, ganyan. So,
nice.
Ayun po talaga, nag-start siya siguro kasi very po ako, parang vocal, I think.
Vocal. Yung personality mo.
Yeah. Yun.
Pero which is maganda kasi when you converse or when you discuss about sex at home, kumbaga, meron yung love and care, yung buong conversation. So it's nothing na parang magiging malaswa or something. And it's more encouraging na para sa mga bata na to learn better, to know how to, and if it comes to a point na wala talagang gagawin mo na talaga, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Diba? The right way. Na hindi ka magiging, safe way. Na hindi ka magiging irresponsible or magiging, ang tawag dito, yung basta-basta ka na lang. So yon, I think it's good na mag-start talaga yung conversation at home. So it comes with values and with talaga love.
Pero
Ganda.
actually po, to be honest with you guys, hindi siya ganun kadaling process for me and my family. Kasi, syempre, we're just like other Filipino families na may
Mm-mm.
tendency talagang maging conservative. So,
Mm-mm.
may times na nagkaka-disagreements kami, ganyan. So, the key lang siguro to that is patience. Like, it doesn't happen overnight kasi na once na
Mm-mm.
sabihin mo to sa mom mo, tatanggapin niya agad or something.
Mm-mm.
Or once na sinabi ng mom mo yun sa'yo, chances are baka feeling mo hindi ka niya mahal. Mga ganong moments namin ng mom ko and dad. So,
Mm-mm.
I think nadadaan siya sa conversations talaga, like healthy
Mm-mm.
conversations na, okay, may times talaga na they may not agree with you, but that's
Mm-mm.
just because they want to protect you. Ganyan.
Yes,
So,
true.
that's what I learned along the way. So, yun po.
The
And
fact
you
na
can't
hindi ka
ano
takot
din
sa parents mo, no?
ah,
Talaga makakapag
oo, na-open ka. Hindi, at saka ano din kasi, like you said, you can't change it overnight. Kasi doon na
Yeah.
sila lumaki, yun yung instilled sa kanila. So, yun yung tama sa kanila. So, anything na bago, kahit naman sa atin kung magkakaroon tayo ng next generation, mga anak natin, parang magugulat din tayo, makukulture shock din tayo sa mga bagong kulturang i-introduce nila sa atin. Baka para sa atin by that time, oh my gosh, this is something unacceptable, di ba? So, I think that's normal lang. Wow, ang ganda, Hana. Thank you very much for that. Pang-miss you. Another pang-miss you.
True.
Yes. Oo.
Ayan.
So, ano yung next taboo natin? Yes, this is something interesting. What's your take on divorce? Legalizing it in the Philippines?
Legalizing the divorce.
Yes.
Actually, it's a very difficult topic to talk about kasi knowing Filipinos now, like,
Okay,
parang,
pero Hana, just for your own perspective na lang, from your own
As a
perspective,
Gen Z.
para, as a Gen
as a
Z.
Gen Z, I'm all for divorce, especially if I think yung reason ay sobrang valid. For instance, kasi, let's say, this pandemic po, parang lahat tayo nagstay at home. And we all had to live different lives in a day. And I firmly believe na somewhere sa isang household, merong nakaranas ng domestic abuse. Or meron dyan out there, hindi natin alam, nire-rape ng asawa niya or ng partner niya.
Based sa news natin, tumaas nga daw yung percentage ng abuse.
So,
Yes,
I think it's important na ngayong panahon na to na, kasi I think po, this is the time na marami ng mga tao yung namumulat about certain things. And I feel like healthy na pag-usapan natin yung divorce. Kahit against tayo doon. Kasi doon mapapakita yung sense of compassion na, okay, this might not be happening in my own household, but sa kanya nangyayari yun. So, I think kung valid yung reasons and stuff, like, lalo na sa mga babae or actually kahit hindi lang babae, meron din kasing lalaki na
na-abuse.
Yes.
So, yun, I'm all for divorce. Yun.
Nice. Go tayo dyan, Char.
Yes.
We have to respect other people's perspective. Pero para sa atin, I mean, you too, ate, yan, no?
Oo, sobra. I'm all up for divorce talaga. Kasi like Hannah said, just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen in reality. So, ayun. And tayo na lang ang bansang walang divorce after ng Vatican. So, hello.
Nahiya na
parang
yung Italy
sobrang,
sa atin.
hindi na lang tayo behind Parang sobrang backwards na tayo when it comes to that matter. So, I totally agree with Hannah na it's about time. Diba?
Yes, true. And, follow up, and another question, Hannah. So, regarding with the divorce, ang ganda nun. And also, what's your take on, abortion naman?
Ito mas juicy.
Personally.
Ilagay ba naman sa hot seat si Hana, no?
Grabe naman
Hindi naman ako na-
oldies, charot.
Abortion.
Mm.
I feel like this is also another topic na feeling ko gusto na nating pag-usapan as a society,
Yes.
but like nag-aantayan lang tayo because syempre again we're very conservative in a lot of things. So ako po personally, if kasi meron pong certain dangers, I mean based on data ganyan. If it's performed without a medical professional, it might put the woman's life in danger. So
Yes.
related siya sa healthcare system kumbaga.
Yes.
And then if without a medical professional, chances are baka mali yung process or something. And then since nakalinya nga siya sa healthcare system, I think kung wala tayong maayos na sistema ng healthcare and at the same time, if hindi natin fully nag-grasp yung idea bakit ba nagkaka-abortion in the first place. Parang katulad din ng divorce kasi probably baka nabuntis si girl kasi
Na-rape.
siya. Sorry for the triggers. I mean, for the listeners. Trigger warning. Ayun. There are a lot of reasons, and at the same time, I firmly believe that you may not be pro-abortion, but you have to at least, kumbaga bare minimum, that you have to understand that your body, your choice, like a woman's body,
Yes.
whatever it is that she wants to do with her body, it's her choice. So,
Yes.
ayun. And, pero again, if like in a logical manner na sagot, like logical na sagot, I think bago natin yes yung abortion, kailangan natin magagap as a society yung pag-improve sa healthcare system at the same time maintindihan natin and matutunan talaga natin, kumbaga ma-embody natin na people perform these kasi may underlying reasons.
True.
I guess this is also a stepping stone, like etong Zoom session or like this podcast episode, na it's a sign for listeners to talk about these uncomfortable things. It might not sound as good as you think, or like for you, it's a no for me, ganyan.
Yeah.
Pero I
Yes.
think it's helpful na you listen and
Be
malaking
open-minded.
tulong na yun actually kasi it's awareness din po. So, ayun.
True.
Yun. True.
I love
How about
that.
you, Ate Ye? Super quick lang.
Abortion? Yes, oo.
What's your take?
Oo. Actually, sobrang pareho tayo ng perspective, Hana, na when it comes to abortion, it's not something that I would do myself kasi hindi ako lumaki sa ganong na may natanggap yon sa values ko and morals ko. But it's a part of healthcare system and it should be part of it kasi ano yan it's not a matter of whether you believe in it or not. It's a matter of what's it called, yung access nung tao sa healthcare. So it should be available. Now if you don't believe in it, then just don't do it. Pero just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean na it's not a necessity. So how about you, Jen?
Well, same din. Pero I would think na dapat din is bago yung effect, kailangan yung cause mo na yung pinaka-i-avoid natin. For example,
Yes.
yung mga contraceptives, yung parang mga protections, dapat yun muna, yung education talaga muna. Kasi habang lumalaki to, yung mga genzers, di ba? Sa school pa lang dapat start na yan. Dapat mag-start na tayo, imulat sila sa ano ba yung abortion. Alam mo yun, parang parang bahala na yung Department of Education kung paano nila i-explain sa mga estudyante. Pero that is one way for us to avoid abortion. Kasi kung 'di ba, parang kasi kung talagang available yung abortion, okay na yung healthcare system. pero hindi pa rin ganun ka-open mind yung mga bata. Talagang go pa lang sila, sige, like everyone, di ba? Parang, okay lang yan. Pag napatunayan ko naman na hindi ko deserve maging parent, okay lang magpa-abort ako and okay naman yan. So, dapat i-break muna natin yung pinaka-bottom, yung pinaka-parang first step para magkaroon ng ganyang situation.
True.
So, yan.
That's
True.
actually good. Yung parehas po na answers niyo maganda kasi on point. And I firmly believe na related talaga siya sa sex ed. Kasi
Yes.
if hindi alam ng isang bata or ng isang teenager na pwede pala siyang mabuntis sa ovulation day niya, parang ang laking consequence na yun sa life niya. Kasi let's face it, having a child, walang pause yun. Kumbaga sa life, forever ka ng
It's
mom.
forever. Oo, that's the real forever.
Walang day off, no? Yes, oo, si Jen,
Yeah.
she's a mother, so talagang
Yeah.
alam niya na walang day off yan. Lifetime
Oo.
commitment.
True, forever.
Yes, oo.
Yes.
Ganda. Grabe, ang gaganda ng sagot ni Hannah.
Oo.
Sobrang
Tsaka sana
empowering.
itong mga, like for example, abortion, mga yan, meron siguro ma-guest ulit natin si Hannah, no, after like few years or few months after natin magkaroon ng mga researches, no, para rin ma-follow up natin yung education or basic education, ma-help natin yung ibang tao. So, i-cut na natin muna to, guys, itong deep talks.
So from taboos which are very serious subject, yun nga, puntahan naman natin yung common myths. So magdebunk tayo ng common myths, yes, about the Gen Zs. So number one, and we'd like you to debunk these common myths, Hannah, by using your own words, okay? Okay, so first, yes. So number one, genzers are good in digital communication but lacks face-to-face interaction.
Oh. Honestly, I think kung alam lang ng mga tao gaano ka-draining for us to like do Zoom meetings every day. Parang mas prefer namin talaga yung face-to-face kasi mas personal yung approach. Like mas masaya na you can seize the moment with a person. And more than anything, that is what I personally crave for kasi I work on social media po. So like honestly, it's super draining to like check your phone and have a relationship with your phone. Although I know common impression po kasi siya sa Gen Z na madalas kami mag-phone, we know things about the digital world, but like honestly, I personally prefer face-to-face interactions.
Nice. Okay. So, well, mas okay ba yung Gen Zs ngayon sa digital communication, tingin mo? Parang parang kasi, well, this is based on my experience. Parang sa office ko dati, nung nagkaroon kami ng problema sa computer, tinawag agad nila yung mga fresh grad na parang, uy, hello, alam ko din to
Judgmental.
Stereotype.
Ay, di na alam to ni Jen. Medyo tayo sa mga fresh grads.
Ako po personally, I personally think nag-start talaga yung knowledge sa digital world sa millennials eh. I mean, I firmly believe in that. Kasi po kayo po yung generation na alam niyo yung difference ng outside world sa digital media. Kasi kami po, lumaki na kami talaga na may phones.
Meron
ganyan.
na. True.
I honestly think, in a way, pantay yung millennials and Gen Z sa digital part. Kasi sa inyo po yung nagsimula. So I'm pretty sure, alam niyo po yung Friendster, ganyan.
Wala kayo dyan. Charot. Pagbukas mo ng profile, may sound effect.
Yes, true.
Tapos, sasabihin mo sa mga friends mo, uy, patesti naman.
Oo. Doon pa
Oh
lang
my
yun.
gosh.
Alam mo ba yun, Hannah?
I
Friendster.
think natatandaan
How
ko.
Friendster works.
Pero not in a way na parang clear pa yung pag hinarap sa akin yung Friendster, baka matulala na lang ako kasi hindi ko na matandaan.
Mapangitan ka, girl. Mapapangitan ka.
Kasi usually yung mga picture doon, gano'n.
Mababaduyan ka.
May
So,
bangs na ganun.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so let's move on. Next is
Second,
genzers are snowflakes.
Ouch. Charot.
Sakit nga.
Ako, again, I mean, personally, I think when I'm overwhelmed with a lot of things and I feel like I firmly believe na what I know is right, I tend to become a snowflake for other people. So I think that's somehow true. But again, I mean, being a snowflake is sometimes valid. Like, baka may underlying reason, but siya ganun. So,
True.
I can't really say if it's bad or something. But ako personally kasi, I tend to become a snowflake for other people. So, for me, totoo siya. But again, it takes practice to conduct like a healthy discussion with someone. And I think I'm personally working on that pa. So, yeah, I think ako personally as a Gen Z, I think I'm a snowflake. Somehow, sometimes, ganyan. So, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, yung next naman medyo mas masakit pa, di ba?
Oo, masasakit to, girl.
Medyo harsh to, Hana. So,
Okay, sige po.
genzers ba are lazy and entitled daw? These are the means.
Lazy. Ako po, personally, if something actually matters to me, I put my focus, kumbaga I devote my focus and talagang pinaglalaanan ko ng effort at panahon. So, siguro common trait siya para sa mga Gen Z na if ano yung gusto namin, yun talaga. Parang ganun. So, nagiging tendency yun para magkaroon kami ng impression as lazy. But, I don't know if tungkol ba siya sa chores? Tungkol po ba sa chores? Kasi if sa chores...
let's say, let's be, subjective. Charot. Siguro tingin, try mo muna sa household chores. Do you do household chores?
Personally, it's therapeutic. So, I'm not
nice. Nice to
pagdating sa
hear.
household chores. Yun. Pag sa job, siguro like sa work, honestly, wala kasi akong choice. So, I have to work. Like, ganun na lang yung mindset ko.
Para sa ekonomiya, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ayun, but in general, siguro before sabihin na lazy yung isang Gen Z, talk to them first. Like, why are you being like this? Kasi again, magaling po talagang Gen Z sa ganun. Like, communication.
Communication.
So,
Mas kayo na parang vocal.
yes.
And
Yung
open.
Gen Zs. Oo, and open.
Pag
Yes.
sa, ano po isa entitled? Tawag po ba?
Entitled, yes.
Entitled. Since na I mentioned earlier na meron kaming access to a lot of things easier than the older generations. I think since marami nga kaming parang overloaded yung information namin about certain things, nagsiset kami ng standards for ourselves. So, for instance, if it's work related, if we feel like the company is no longer treating us the right way, may tendency po talagang mag-job hopping kami, ganyan. And then, for other people, it's like entitled kami, ganyan. Or again, if we feel like what we know is right and we stand up for ourselves, it might look bad for some people. So, siguro, pag ganong aspeto, again, just talk to a Gen Z. And just parang, it's good that sometimes challenge ka rin ng isang Gen Z na, okay, parang, this person is challenging me to think and to discuss things with him or her. Kasi, it's not every day na you encounter a Gen Z who is or a person who is very vocal on certain things. So, that's a perfect time or situation na you talk about things.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ano ba? Ano ba tayo?
Lost na siya.
Kasi natakal na natin yung
Yun
next question.
Yes,
But
so
then,
jump tayo.
We have to jump to another question na. So, how do you think we can bridge generation gap? It's a long jump from what you've just explained.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we have a long way to go, I think, but it's good that at some point we're starting it now. Kasi sa mga Gen Z friends ko na nakakausap, parang sila usually nag-i-initiate ng communication with their parents or with their older friends or siblings. And siguro by that time na when that child or that person reaches out to you, entertain them kasi it's a perfect way to discuss things. And malay mo may mako-contribute pala yung Gen Z na yun sa'yo or ikaw as an older person. You can advise, you can give him a lot of advice also. So ayun. And more than anything, siguro, it takes a lot of patience talaga and understanding. Kasi, again, hindi siya ganun kadaling process. Kasi, I think older generations became that conservative because, syempre, again, tama po yung sinabi ni ate kanina na probably kasi dumaan din sila sa ganito, ganyan. And I think yung naging approach nila to that is to protect the younger ones na, okay, I don't want you to do this or I'm prohibiting you to do stuff. Yeah, kasi I went through it and this is how I went through it. Ayun. But at the same time, you also have to understand that just because you went through it doesn't mean that kid or that person younger than you will go through it the same way.
The same way,
So,
yes.
I think doon talaga papasok yung understanding and healthy communication para at some point mag-meet halfway na okay, sige. Gets ko yung point ni Gen Z, gets ko yung point niya. Gets yung point ko. So, yun. So, I think it takes two things. Communication talaga and patience.
Nice.
Ganda.
Communication, patience. Yeah,
Yes,
ganda.
it's always the key, no?
Communication.
Talaga, communication talaga. Which is forte nga ng Gen Z, which is good. So, yun siguro yung pinakamalaking evolution from our generation, older generation na nababago ng Gen Zs.
Totoo.
That's true.
Yeah, so Hana, kasi napag-usapan nga namin or na-mention nga namin sa opening ni Jen na generation war. Ito yung ongoing war na kumbaga hindi nga lang siya silent war na ongoing between one generation and the other. So, like you said nga, hindi naman to natatapos. So, hindi lang Gen Z yung nakaranas nito, but also us coming from an older generation na nakarinig din kami from our lolas na buti pa nung panahon namin, ganito, ganyan. Oo, kayo, mga ano na kayo, mga salbahe, mga palasagot, ganyan. So, yun yung usual sa millennials naman na naging palasagot, naging pala makatwiran. So,
palalabas.
Yes, oo, lakwatsero. Kasi wala pang social media nun eh. So, yun yung ano namin nun.
Travel goals. Wala pang ganun.
So, we'd like to hear from a Gen Z. Do you believe na your generation is better than the older ones? Wow. In a way, or are there some areas?
I think charot. I personally think hindi sa lahat ng aspeto po kasi honestly may times kasi na ang Gen Z syempre at some point we need other generations help also, like for instance, ako personally, I don't know how to become a mom yet. Like, I can instantly ask my parents, paano ba maging adult? How do I enter that phase in my life? So, in that aspect, I can say na hindi mas magaling yung Gen Z doon. So, I think, in general, hindi sa lahat ng bagay. Siguro po, I mean, honestly, personally, I think as a Gen Z, there are times na I can teach my parents or I can teach older people how to process their emotions, ganyan. Kasi there were some instances na meron akong mas matatandang friends who don't know how to open up. And I think mas may advantage kaming mga Gen Z doon because we're very expressive with our feelings. So, in that aspect, I can say makakatulong yung Gen Z sa older generations. Pero there are also times na we can feel overwhelmed with a lot of the things that we know. So I think makakatulong yung older generations to help us calm down and chill na okay, take it easy. And nung panahon ko or nung kabataan ko, that's how I felt and this is what you can do about it. So I think not in all aspects. So I think pero meron namang instances like what I said na probably makakatulong kaming Gen Z sa mga mas matatanda. So ayun.
Yes, ganda.
True.
So, Hannah, anything you would like the older generations to understand about the Gen Z?
Anything I would like them to understand.
Yes.
I think older people have to understand na merong pag-iisip or mindset ang isang Gen Z na sometimes you can't control because again, the same as you, we're also humans and we behave the same way as you do. It's just that at this point in time, mas exposed lang kami in certain things, on certain things na hindi naranasan ng older generations and that's perfectly fine. So, and it's very important to establish that bond between the Gen Z and the older people kasi for us to create safe spaces like hindi lang para sa aming mga kabataan but also for I mean like for the society as a whole, kailangan matutunan natin maintindihan yung isa't isa. And again, it doesn't happen overnight, but it's very helpful if through little conversations or healthy ways, kumaga random talks lang. For instance, this podcast episode is a very big help already. Matututunan natin gumawa ng future na, alam mo yun, makikinabang yung future generations. And I think that would be really cool because like honestly, everything is so messed up already.
True.
Yung light yung sagot, but like this.
Let's go deep.
Ayun po.
Ayan. Ang ganda.
Alright.
So before we end this episode, ang ganda ng mga ng mga take mo, Hannah.
Insights,
Sobrang ang daming realization. But Jen, ano yung pinaka na-realize mo from this episode?
Well, obviously yung about sa Gen Zs. Kasi katulad nga na sinabi ko kanina, parang wala na akong masyadong alam about dun sa, for example, educational system and yung pagpapalaki sa mga Gen Zs. Kasi yung Millennials, inabot pa tayo ng medyo oldie na way para palakihin. Di ba? Andyan pa yung namamalo yung parents. Di ba? Yung talagang tatakbuhan kayo sa labas, papaluin.
May cassette tapes pa. Ganun.
Tapos yung mga, pati yung pananamit mo talagang parents
mo yung magde-decide.
masusunod. Oo, 'di ba? Yung how you dress, how you talk, how you walk. Sometimes you have to change yourself nga para alam mo yun, para masundan mo yung gusto nila. Kasi ang feeling mo nun is ganito pala dapat. No? Well, while dun sa Gen Zs, meron talaga silang parang self-care. Tapos meron silang yung nagiging sila. Alam mo yan, parang nagiging nagpapakatotoo sila at vocal. Yun yung importante. Katulad ng sabi ni Hannah, natuto siya na makipag-converse sa parents niya about certain topics na hindi talaga no-open before. Ito yung pinaka-importante para maka-jump na tayo into a new generation pero sama-samang Gen Z or
Mm-mm.
sama-samang generation like Millennials, Gen Zs or
United.
oldies. Oo, united into a different chapter of our culture. Tapos natutunan ko rin kay Hana na ito kasing mga stereotype talaga pinagdadaanan ng bawat generation. Pero yung sa
Mm-mm.
kanila medyo mas may pressure kasi nga andun na yung social media, andyan na yung mga
Mm-mm. True.
access, alam mo yon, yung mga news, journalism, mas marami silang nababasa at napapakinggan at
Mm-mm.
napapanood. So ang natutunan ko sa kay Hana, kita mo si Hana, bata pa siya pero ang ganda na ng mga pananalita niya, alam mo yun, open-minded na siya sa topics na 'to. Ibig sabihin,
Yes.
ibig sabihin yung mga Gen Zs talagang nakaka-proud kasi ginagamit din nila yung mga tools nila para sa self-knowledge, 'no? Ikaw, Ate Ye, ano yung natutunan mo dito sa conversation or dito sa topic natin for tonight?
Ako ang dami ko din talagang na-realize dun sa mga sinabi ni Hana. Number one, siguro hindi natin talaga fully maiiwasan. Siguro inevitable talaga yung generation wars na talagang
Mm.
merong mga comparison between each generations. Pero na-realize ko na communication talaga yung pinaka-importante even sa kumbaga bigger conflict. Kung meron kayong
Mhm.
communication, at least you can bridge the gap talaga. You can meet halfway na parang at least understand where each of you coming from. So,
Mm.
yun yung number one na realization ko. Number two, related din siya dun sa stereotype na parang na-realize ko na genzers, they are bigger than what we think they are. So, it's very important na pakinggan din natin sila. Just because they are younger doesn't mean they know less. Kasi like
Yes.
na-mention mo nga na
Ah,
na-expose na sila, marami na silang tools para mag-research or malaman ng mga bagay-bagay, maging aware, and they are more aware than us, I think, when we were at that age. So, kasi I think nung mga nasa teenager ako or early 20s, more of ano lang ako eh, wala, laro lang, ganun, love life. Love life.
hmm,
Yung love life
oo.
lang. Di ba? Parang
Oo.
yung kumbaga yung empowerment within the circle lang ng friends pero hindi ka makakapag-reach out sa mga like women
Random
around the
people.
world. Oo,
Mm.
dahil nga sa use din na rin ng social media. So, I think yung stereotyping talaga, yun yung nagiging cause ng gap ng yung differences, parang mas na-highlight siya more than yung parang kung ano yung na-evolve or kung ano yung mga magagandang or mga ano bang tawag dito, nag-improve through time na parang oo, merong parts, merong areas na we still think worth keeping from older generations, but minsan kasi may tendency yung mga older generation na buti pa nung time ko, buti pa nung time ko, ganito,
Mm.
ganyan. Na parang close-minded sila dun sa mga bagay na nag-evolve in a positive way na
Mm.
na-improve ng mga bagong generation, which is yan nga, yung communication, awareness, empowerment. Isa yan sa pinakamalaking talagang nag-evolve during this generation, your generation, Hana. So, yun, ang pinaka-realization ko talaga is to listen to younger generations na don't
Mm.
be so parang hierarchical na parang just because you're the older generation doesn't mean
Yan,
everything was
oo.
better back then. So yun.
Mm.
So
Ganda,
dahil sa iyo,
ganda
Hana, ang dami talaga naming realizations
oo,
din.
totoo
Oo,
yan.
ang gaganda ng mga answers mo. Thank you very much.
Ah.
Sobrang
Si Ate Yaya
na-appreciate
na lang yung hindi
namin.
gumagamit nito kasi
Oo,
millennial.
actually, kasi ako yung yung older millennial. Tapos si
Mm.
Jen yung second generation ng millennial. Tama ba?
Oo. True.
So, sa kanya ko una nakita yon nung nag-start kami mag-podcast. So, parang ako, ano yun? Common pala yun.
Alam mo, Hana, parang pag nagsasama kami ni Ate Yay, ako yung judgemon, siya yung parang nerdy, ganun.
So, balance talaga yung namin, yung
Oo.
aming tandem. Yes, oo. So, thank you very
Ayan.
much, Hannah. But before we end this call, we'd like to give you the mic, the stage. So, promote anything, plug.
Yay.
Plug your own account.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello to the listeners out there. I also have a solo podcast called Asking for a Friend, the podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And of course, I'm also going to invite Ate Ye and Ate Jen on my podcast. Actually, I don't know if anong mauuna, if ito ba or yun, but
We'll
I
see.
think it's in the same month naman. So, hopefully, if mauna yun, or mauna to or something, makinig kayo doon, ganyan, punta kayo sa
Yes.
Spotify and search for Asking for a Friend. And you can collaborate with me if you're interested to collaborate with me. You can email askingforafriendpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. Ayan. Sana talaga na-inspire namin kayo or alam mo yun, nakapagbigay kami ng magandang information about sa aming mga generation. So, thank you, Hannah. And
Thank you so much,
Ate Ye.
Hannah. Yes.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Good night, guys.
Sweet dreams.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hannah, end ko lang to and then mag-set ako ng another call para lang pag-usapan natin kung paano natin po-proceed yung natin,
Podcast.
recording.
Nakamute pala, sorry. Go lang po.
Sige.
Ano bang
Thank
gamit
you.
mo, Hannah? Sorry. Ano bang gamit mo?
Paanong gamit po? Like,
Para ma-record yung podcast.
I think I'm also going to use Zoom po.
Zoom na rin.
Sorry
Okay.
po na nag-lag kasi
Okay lang.
Okay lang, no? Ba? Walang problem.
Okay, sige.
So, ikaw na lang magsasend nun link or...
Opo, sige po.
Okay,
na lang.
sige.
Para
Thank
siya
you.
ma-record. Okay.
Yep.
See
Thank
ya
you.
later.
Bye-bye.
See ya now pala. Bye.